Hello and welcome to my review of the Archmagos Prime for Mechanicum for Warhammer, the Horus Heresy from Games Workshop. Now, one of these minis will cost you £24 and consists of 33 plastic components and a 40mm round base. This review will follow the usual format, so we'll have a look at the mini, look at the detail, how difficult it was to build, how easy. We won't go through any spare parts because even though there's 33 for one mini, there aren't any. Then we'll go through some size comparisons with other Mechanicum units in the army, and finally I'll go through all of the rules for the Archmagos. Now, straight away I want to say I'm not that keen on this mini, and I haven't been from the start, from the pictures to actually building it and the finished product. I still think it is, there's not any issues in terms of the quality of the kit and the detail. It's more of the aesthetics and how it can fit in Mechanicum. With my unboxing, I think I threw up a few examples of Mechanicum HQ with the older snail slug type Archmagos, and for me that's more Mechanicum, Horus Heresy Mechanicum, not this. This is very similar to 40k Mechanicus, you know, with the priest type looking aesthetic, with the robes, with the stave. I guess the only esoteric weapon really is that conversion beamer, but you know, we've seen plastic conversion beamers before, so for me it's not 30k enough. I don't feel. It's very much like praise the Omnissiah, bless the machine spirit, and all those kind of things, rather than what happens in 30k and things. So yeah, for me it's still a no. Yeah, so for me it doesn't quite work. Also the price. What you see is what you get. You get no options, like no. Let's just have a look at it really while I'm chatting. You get no options for different heads. It would have been cool to have some kind of different pointy pointy hat option, maybe a different melee weapon. There's multiple weapons. We'll go through them in its war gear in a moment. Also, the miniature itself is quite fiddly to put together. I've always said that if these videos can help you decide to get a miniature or not get a miniature, then I've done my job. You know, I'm not sent any of this for free by Games Workshop. I buy all of this with my own money, completely fund it. I've always been able to say whatever I like, and I like that freedom. And I can't really recommend this one. I would, you know, if you're going down this route with the hooded Magos, I'd rather you pick a 40k Mechanicus one that you already have, which I'm sure you already have, than this one. I think it's a miss from Games Workshop. I don't think it fits in that well, and as I say, it's quite fiddly. Like, the arms are fiddly, the scepter is an absolute pain to get this cable to fit on the scepter and his cloak. The head and the back and the actual cloak itself was not too bad. This kind of mechadendrite, whatever it is, it just fits on flat joints really. And these weapons, see, I nearly destroyed it there, thank God. But yeah, it's just very fiddly with these weapons, and this conversion beamer has about 10 pieces to it. Like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 10 pieces to that conversion. It's like a third of the model is that weapon. I'm not a big fan still. So if you can find a different model, or even if you've got an old Mechanicum Archmagos, I would use that instead. And there's no big contact points on the base. It's just these claws, and they don't really fit that well. Very small contact points. But yeah, let's carry on with the review anyway. So no spare parts, straight into the size comparison. First off, with your troops. So we have the tech thralls. It will be pointing them to go somewhere mindlessly, well, under his instruction. Then you've got the Thalax, which are still a bit smaller, just. I mean, they don't have as much presence, I don't think, as the HQ. Same size bases though. Then we've got the Castellax, which are definitely bigger and taller. You're getting taller in the pecking order now. And then we've got the Thanatar, which of course is very big compared to the Archmagos. And then we've got something like a Moirax, maybe. So yeah, it's gonna set himself apart next to Thalaxes and Tech Thralls. But if you've got like 6 Castellax, he's gonna be kind of swamped a little bit. Reminds me of the Tech Priests reminds me of the Engine Seers with the Castellan robots in a little way, sort of the sizes. But I hope that's helped. Of course, I want to compare him to the Triaros. I'll probably say still my favourite kit in this Mechanicum release, really. It's fantastic. Can you put him in there, possibly, and give him a bit more protection? And then compared to some Space Marine minis, so we've got, you know, Mark 6 and Mark 3. He's taller than those, so he'd be taller than a lot of the captains and things in Space Marines. Some 40k miniatures then. I should really compare him to some Mechanicus Tech Priests, and I will. No doubt Belisarius Call is bigger than him, but this is like the OG Tech Priest, and you can see, you know, with the legs and things, the Mechanicus one is bigger. Got this plasma weapon, I think it is, and that's it. No other ranged weaponry on a bigger base too. So that's that Tech Priest. If anything, this one looks probably more grimdark than this one. This looks very fresh, this Archmagos. And then you've got the other Tech Priest again on the bigger base. This one's more hooded, but I think you can get a similar hat. Well, that one's got a similar hat, hasn't it? But this one's got this like conversion type weapon. So only one ranged weapon, and this one's sort of like floating a little bit. But yeah, maybe these are more grimdark than the actual, you know, Horus Heresy one. But yeah, I think you'll be fine, depending on your paint scheme, using these instead of this one. This one seems very vanilla, seems very basic compared to, you know, what we've had for Mechanicus. And smaller, it seems. You know, I was expecting a plastic version of like the snail type Archmagos that we had. You know, can you remember when we got this Anacharis Scoria? Look at this model; it's absolutely incredible. Yes, this one's £100, and I wouldn't expect that we'd get this, but this is what. You know, Horus Heresy, Mechanicum, I kind of expect. You know, it's just fantastic, this zoomorphism with the scorpion type abeyant, with, you know, with the pincers and the legs and the scorpion's sting. I mean, this is a fantastic mini. You know, and you just compare them, and it's like, yeah, I might just have this one. As my Archmagos, but a bit of a size difference with the old base, isn't there? Next to some other 40k miniatures, obviously Scoria is Horus Heresy, but we've got the Primaris, and we've got standard Space Marine and Sly Marbo. So next to a standard Space Marine is actually shorter, and a Primaris is, yeah, taller. Primaris is taller overall, so there is that. if that helps. Okay, this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for the Archmagos Prime. You'll find them in your Liber Mechanicum, Forces of the Messiah book, not the new Martian Civil War book. And of course, being an Archmagos, it will be one of your HQ choices. There are 5 HQ choices for the Mechanicum army. There's this one, which is the Archmagos Prime. You've got the Archmagos Prime on Abeyant. You've got the Magos Dominus and the Magos Dominus on Abeyant. And then you've got a character, Caleb Decima Invictus. So this Archmagos Prime, it's 0 to 1. So I'm thinking you can only take one Archmagos Prime. It will cost you a whopping 155 points, which is quite pricey. What are you getting for these points? Well, you're getting a movement speed of 6 inches, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 5, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 10, and a save of 2+. That's pretty good. You know, that's quite a decent stat line. It's survivable, only has 2 attacks though, so I wouldn't push him too far into close combat. He's equipped with a power weapon, a Volkite Serpenta, a Mechanicum Protectiva, and a Cortex controller. Unit type, infantry, cyberthurgist. Character. Special rules, Battlesmith on 4+, feudal hierarchy, firing protocols 3, independent character, master cyberthurgist, the orders of high techno arcana, relentless and stubborn. Now, the Archmagos Prime has a lot of options, so may take an augury scanner for 5 points, melter bombs for 5, rad grenades at 10, cyber familiar at 15, may exchange either the Volkite Serpenta and or power weapon for one of the following: an Architect pistol for 5, Lucifex for 5, Maxima Bolter for 5, Photon Gauntlet for 5, Plasma Pistol for 5, Power Fist for 5, Corpusant Stave at 5 points, which I think is what this one's equipped with, a Chain Fist at 10, a Paragon Blade for 15. I mean, you don't get any of those with this kit, and that's really disappointing that you're giving so many options there and you are just stuck with a stave. It's really quite sad, and I hope they go back and they do release an Archmagos Prime with a lot of the options, so you can pose it, so you can have the different weapons. Probably won't happen though. It may also take one of the following options: a servo arm for 10 points, an Incunabulan jetpack for 20 points, conversion beamer for 25, which I think is what this one's got, a graviton imploder for 25, a machinator array for 25. May also take one of the following additional weapons: Archmagos Prime with the Myrmidax Order of High Techno Arcana, may take up to 2 selections from the list instead, but may not select a rad furnace. So you can have a rotor gun for 10 points, graviton gun for 15, melter gun for 15, a rad cleanser for 20, phased plasma fusel for 20, photon thruster for 30, rad furnace for 30. May upgrade a single weapon to have the following special rule: mastercrafted for 5 points. So lots and lots of options, but they're not in the kit. So yeah, looks great on paper, but model wise, it just doesn't deliver. Special rules then: it has Master Cyberthurgist, may take one of the following: Cyberthurgic Arcana, Artificia Cybernetica, Artificia Machina, or Ephemera Incursus. And then the Archmagos Prime must take one of the following orders of High Techno Arcana: Archimandrite, Cybernetica, Lacre Martyr, Macrotech, Malagra, Myrmidax, or Reductor. Now, I won't go through all of these Master Cyberthurgy special rules. You can find them from like page 94 of your book, from page 90. The same for the orders of the High Techno Arcana. So I'll leave those up to you to read and, you know, see which ones you want to pick. In summary, I think this Archmagos Prime is great on paper. You know, strong, he's tough, he's got some wounds, not the best in combat, but good for ballistic skill, and has a lot of options there, range weaponry, and be able to buff the rest of your units. But model wise, lacking, unfortunately. Lacking in the weapon department, lacking in the options department, and also the aesthetics. I really don't think he goes with the army. And as I say, you could pick your current Mechanicus tech priests, or hopefully you probably still got your old resin Forge World Magoses lying around, because they go better with the tech thralls and the castellax and things. Do you agree? What do you guys think of this 40k Magos Prime? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. It'd be good to hear from you. Thank you for watching. The Omnissiah protects.